Reaper November continues with a Crusader captain from Reaper Miniatures, and this miniature went through a few different stories, as it were. Whenever you're painting something, it's always a good idea to come up with a little background for it so you can establish what colors you want to use on a miniature. And this one kind of changed throughout the project, but we'll get into that a little bit later. The one thing that I did know is I wanted a red cape on this guy, or cloak. I'm not exactly sure what you call what he's wearing, but I wanted something like a red leather color. Not a super bright red, but something with a bit more brown to it. I think the main thing you're going to get out of this video is layering once again. I always use layering for all of my highlighting, and on this particular miniature, I think it's a really good example of the layering process. So we're going to go over layering once again, and I'm letting these videos play out a little bit longer than normal so you can see the whole process, and they are sped up just slightly, only about 10%. So the first thing we have to do is thin our paint, and using a regular piece of tile for that. No, I do not use a wet palette because it's very difficult to control how thin your paint is using a wet palette. So dry palette works perfectly fine and better for the layering process. So we have our paint thinned. This is roughly, I'd say, 1 to 3 paint to water, 1 to 4 or so. I kind of do it by eye. Remember that red is more transparent by nature than most other paints, so you don't have to thin it as much. Once we have the brush loaded with our thinned paint, just touch it to a paper towel. You can see as I go off camera, that's what's happening. And that's to discharge the excess moisture on the brush so we have control. If we just go from the paint right onto the miniature, we're going to put a big glob of thin paint, and if you get a little kind of a teardrop blob of paint, then you know there's too much on your brush. You have to go to your paper towel, wipe it off once or twice again, and continue the layering process. Each one of these highlights is not done just once on an area. We keep spinning the figure around, applying a layer upon layer of, or in this case right now we're using Vermillion and Cavalry Brown. And we build up until we get to the point where applying more highlights does not yield any results. And so that's our signal to mix up another highlight with a lighter color highlight of paint. Layering does take some time to paint. I probably spend maybe a half hour just painting this cloak, but personally I find it very cathartic. You get into the zone, you just start putting the layers on. It's also very forgiving because we have to apply multiple layers to get results with our highlights. If we apply just one and we mess up somewhere, put it too far into the recesses, it's not a huge deal because the paint is so transparent, it's not going to show up as much as if we were doing wet blending or another technique and we put a big glob of paint where it shouldn't be. Because this is so transparent, it's not going to affect the overall paint job most of the time. As we get to our final highlights, the paint can be a little bit thicker, so we have a bit more control, and that's very good for doing edging. So we get that nice little crisp edge with our paint. Not a whole lot of edging here or sharp edges on our cloak. So you can see here we're just adding a few final dots with Scarlet here and there. For this particular miniature, after finishing all the highlighting, I decided I wanted a little bit more shade. So we mix up kind of it's basically layering again. You can call it a wash as well, but it's a precisely applied wash of a black, gory red, and hexed lichen, and carefully applying it into the recesses. In this case, we can easily apply it because we have big folds. In some other cases, on a tighter fold area, we may have to use it more like a wash. The one thing we have to keep in mind is because we are using darker colors, they cover better than lighter colors when we were adding our highlights. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to make them thinner, or just be careful and not apply as many layers. At the beginning, I had a very simple Crusader paint scheme in mind, just white and red, but decided to actually go for a little bit more of a brown color. And we started off with earth mixed with khaki. However, I wanted that darker, so I'm putting over a heavy wash of burnt umber. We could have just gone and applied burnt umber and worked from there, but this is going to darken it and also going to give us a little bit of shade. So sometimes if you paint something and it turns out to be the wrong color, you don't necessarily have to completely paint over it. You can just put, like I'm doing here, put a heavy wash and then work up from there. We're going with a traditional leather look for the armor, and we're going to stipple that on so we get that nice worn weather look. And leather's, it's simply great. The way it wears, the way it colors, the coloring on it, the way water affects it. You can do a lot of stuff with leather than just paint it straight brown. Adding some little details to it really gives it some good character and life to leather. We're going a little bit higher with our highlights than I normally would, but that's because we are going to apply about 2 glazes of brown ink to give the leather a little bit of depth and just give it that nice, slightly glossy leather sheen to it. Now, I've used the exact same colors on the pouch on his back, but in that case, I didn't stipple the colors. I applied them with layering, and also I didn't apply the brown ink glaze. So just remember, when you see that, it's the exact same colors, just applied differently. It's right around here where I really started to form the story behind this guy. Rather than being a Crusader, I kind of saw more of like a zombie hunter or a witch hunter, something like that. But when this guy comes walking into your village claiming to save it, it's time to run, because he's going to start killing or burning innocent people at the stake. And to give that fear, I kind of wanted a little bit of a creepy skin tone on him, so that's why I've added a little bit of green. So we have a base of cork brown, which is one of my traditional standard skin colors, And we've added green for a little bit of creepiness, and then the hull red is to darken it and give it a little bit more shade. And then from here we'll start adding more traditional highlight colors for flesh, but that green is going to remain in the mix and just give them a kind of a creepy pallor to them. Normally for shading armor, I would go with black and brown inks or something similar. However, we already use a lot of browns on this figure, and I wanted the armor to be have a bit more shine to it. He takes care of his armor, but I didn't want to introduce blue because there's no blue on this figure. I decided to add a little bit of violet, glaze of violet essentially, just to give the armor a little bit of color, and because we used violet on a little bit of violet to shade the cloak. And then after that's down, we put down the black wash, and that's going to tone down our violet, so it's just a hint of that color there, and it's not overpowering the rest of the colors on the miniature. And there's our Witch Hunter. Very simplistic color scheme. We only have one primary color, and everything else is very neutral. A lot of just whites and browns. This figure is so brown, actually, I had to use a makeshift backdrop because my normal brown backdrop paper was messing with the colors on my camera. So there you go, Grimtooth book. Despite the very simplistic color scheme, I really like how this figure came out, because keeping all those colors neutral really makes that cloak, that red cloak, stand out. And as painting it, like I said, I came up with a story. You know, so he's a witch hunter, he's something, but when he comes to your town and claims to be a savior, people are going to die. So run when he walks into your town. He's Witchfinder General or something. But the one thing about keeping a very simplistic paint scheme is trying to add other colors to it to spice it up can be a little bit difficult. You may notice that little banner on his back, I tried painting yellow in some of the shots, and I just couldn't make it work because the yellow stood out way too much, so I eventually just had to go with another off-white color for that. But like I said, very simple, and I like how it came out, and hopefully you got an idea of layering. Once again, I always use layering in all my videos, but hopefully this explanation, once again, helps out. Try it, give it a shot, works out pretty well. Thanks for watching.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
Johnny Long Torso, Johnny Long Torso, the man who comes in pieces.